Today we are doing 3/8 multi-step equations with grouping symbols. There's two methods to solve these type of problems. One is by the distributive property, and the other one is called the inverse property of operations. So let me first show you the distributive property. Distributive property is when you go ahead and distribute that number on the outside to both parts inside the parentheses. So we'd have -9 times y is -9y, and -9 times 1 is -9. And then we would go ahead and solve these. So we're going to add 9 to both sides, because you always have to add or subtract first if possible. And we get rid of our 9s. What you do to one side, you have to do another. So these just happen to go away and be 0. Divide by -9. We have y equals 0, because 0 divided by a number is 0. Let's look at the second method, inverse operations. With inverse operations, this is where you divide or multiply. So here you have a multiplication. You have -9 times this whole entire thing here. And the opposite of multiplication is division. So we can divide by -9 to both sides. And these would cross cancel or cross out or reduce, however you want to think of it. And -9 divided by -9 is a +1. And we subtract 1, and we have y equals 0. So those are the two methods you can use. So we're going to do some practice problems with those on the next slide. It says example number 1, solve by distributive property. So again, this is where we are distributing to both parts. This just looks a little different because that -25 is not in front, it's in the back, but the same rules apply where you must distribute. So we're going to have c times -25 is -25c. -25 times 5 is -125 equals 600. And now I must add or subtract first whenever possible. So opposite of -125 is +125. I get -25c equals 600 plus 125 is 725. Divide by -25 to both sides. These are gone. I get c equals 725 divided by -25 is -29. Example number 2, solve by inverse operations. We have some decimals here. I always like to move my decimals over and make them whole numbers if possible. So I'm going to move those over twice. You have to be consistent, so if you move them over twice, you must move it twice. If you move it over once, which we did here, I think I might have said twice, but we're moving it over once, you have to be consistent throughout the problem. So here I really have 4x minus 5 equals 12, and that's a whole lot easier to solve. So we're going to go ahead and use our inverse property. So we're going to divide by 4. I get x minus 5 equals 3. I add 5 to both sides. I get 8. So x equals 8. Here we have example number 3. It says solve and check. The first thing I want to do with this problem is get rid of that 2. So I'm going to take the opposite of a positive and subtract to both sides. I have n plus 7 divided by 2 equaling -13. And now I must take that inverse and multiply by 2. So I'm going to come over here and multiply this by 2. These go away. Must do that as well to the other side. So again, this one was a little different because we had division. We had to multiply by 2. I get -26. And then I'm going to subtract 7. I get n equals It's a weird looking 6, I apologize. Negative 33. It also says to check, so I'm going to go ahead and check it. Move this up. So when I check this, I have to plug in negative 33 in for our n. So I have negative 33 plus 7 divided by 2 plus 2 equals negative 11. And again, just so you can see, let me keep that up there a little bit. I had my original, so this n right here was what I was plugging in for my negative 33. So now I can do the math on that and make sure I did it correctly. So I'm going to have negative 33 plus 7 is negative 26 divided by 2 plus 2 equals negative 11. 26 divided by 2 is going to give me negative 13 plus 2, which is negative 11. So I know I did this correct.